Hey everybody, welcome to Kingdom Wealth Concepts and our very first master class on personal finance. My name is Trisha Miller and I just wanted to get started here by talking to you a little bit about the reality of the world we live in. We live in a day where finances are not something that we are taught in school. It is so odd and strange to me that we're taught all kinds of concepts that we maybe don't use in life. Things that, I might have taken a biology course or geometry classes or statistics and things like that. It's all very good and well to broaden my education, but depending on what I grow up to do with my life, I may never use it. And yet finance is one of those things that every single one of us is faced with on a daily basis, and yet we are not taught anything practical about finance for our daily lives. And so many of us wind up, we go to school, we get an education, we get a good job, that's what we're taught to do. We spend a lot of money sometimes going to college so that we can get a better job and spend an awful lot of time paying back those student loans. But we find ourselves stuck in a rat race, stuck in a place where we don't know how in the world we're going to get ahead. We're barely making it paycheck to paycheck, and it just feels like it's never going to change. Well, that is often how I have felt in my life. And my personal story, I wound up divorced after 25 years and never ever expected that, where I would be on my own and having to figure out how to make ends meet, and even trying to figure out how in middle of life suddenly I don't know what my future is going to look like. So I have been doing an awful lot of research and reading in the past couple of years, and I have learned that really there are some laws about money that if we all learn and are taught, we can radically improve our circumstances. So one of the first books that I read that has remained to this day an absolute all-time favorite is called The Richest Man in Babylon by George Clason, and I would recommend all of you read it because it is basically just ancient advice about the laws of gold that do not change no matter when in the civilization you live. The laws of gold remain the same, and if we learn to obey those laws, we will grow wealthy. It's not even a matter of if, it is just a matter of how soon and how well we'll do at that. But it is not a matter of if. You absolutely can do this. And it can be real easy for us sometimes to think that growing wealth is all for greedy people, and that is somehow, the love of money is the root of all evil. We've all heard that, and I'm here to tell you the love of all money can be the root of all evil if that's all we're about. But the reality is, if we don't have money, that also can be very painful in our lives and actually be a source of evil too, because we can wind up in this scarcity mindset and doing things that we never thought we would do because of a survival instinct. And so I just wanted to share some of this with you. So the very first thing I wanted to do was go over the 5 laws of gold. I'm going to encourage you to read the book, but even if you don't ever read the book, I want you to keep these laws of gold in front of you all the time. Write them down, put them on the mirror in your bathroom. I'd love to see them on a coffee mug, a t-shirt, somewhere where you're going to see them every single day and review them, because it will help you to change your mindset. But here's the other thing. These 5 laws of gold, if they're not understood and applied properly, they too can be dangerous. So I have learned that I've seen people write study guides and all kinds of things for this book and misapply these laws in ways that actually can lead to more trouble. So we're going to look at them quickly today, but then we're going to really dive in future videos for each and every one. So here are the 5 laws of gold. I've written them down for you. We're just going to kind of go over them really quickly, and then I'm going to talk about the first one here. But number 1, 10% of all your income should be set aside for the future. Now I know many people who are like barely scraping by paycheck to paycheck are going, 10%? I can't even come up with 5%. That's okay. If you can't, you set aside what you can and just get started. Get in the habit, even if it's a very small amount. You just make that small amount a priority every month, and I think you'll find that as you start looking around and as you start seeing that grow, you will begin to find more and more available funds to do that with. But 10% really honestly should become a bare minimum at some point. 10% should be the absolute bare minimum, and the more you can make that number grow, the better off you'll be. The faster these laws of gold will work for you. Number 2, put your money to work for you. It multiplies even as the flocks of the field. We'll talk about that a whole lot more to come as well. Number 3, protect it with wise handling and experts. Number 4, gold runs away from those who invest it in things they do not know. We are all very guilty of this one in our country. Number 5, stay away from get-rich-quick schemes. If it's too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. I am all about get-rich-slow schemes, but not get-rich-quick schemes. They are dangerous, and they will suck away your money in a hurry. Now, there's another thing in this book that George Gleason talks about, and it is 7 Cures for a Lean Purse. So I'm going to go through these with you as well. Eventually, I'm going to show you how these all mesh together. So he says 7 cures for a lean purse. Now that sounds like an old-fashioned way of saying it, but basically, you don't have any money in your pocket, right? You pull out your wallet and all you get is dust, okay? So the first thing you're going to do is start thy purse to fattening. Live on 9/10 of your income. You can already see how that one goes with number 1, with the first law of gold. Okay? Number 2, control thy expenditures. You can hardly start fattening your purse if you don't control your expenditures, right? That's like living within your means. Number 3, make thy gold multiply. This one, again, is in one of the laws of gold, and this is key because it's not as much about earning with your own labor as it is making your money do the work for you. Number 4, guard thy treasures from loss. So always be very careful and protect it. Number 5, make of thy dwelling a profitable investment. Number 6, ensure a future income. And number 7, increase thy ability to earn. So we're just going to start with number 1, right back here, 10% of all income set aside for the future. And I want you to notice that if you look at the 7 cures for a lean purse, it goes with number 1, start thy purse to fattening, which I already mentioned, but also goes with number 6, ensure a future income. If you set aside a little bit every month, pay yourself first, in other words, then you will be assuring yourself a future income. So you need to see your gold as something, well, gold, we talk about gold, right? Cash in our society or digits in your bank account. Either way, the more you can automate that, the more you can go through and say, I can set this much aside every single month. What matters more than the amount is consistency. It's getting in the habit. So my challenge for you right now is the very first thing I want you to do is find how much money you might be able to set aside regularly. And I would challenge you to push that number a little more than you actually think you can do, because you would be surprised that when you set that goal to do so, how quickly you find yourself able to do it more and more. So this might be a really good time right here in the beginning for you to go through your bank statements, your credit card statements, look through and see what you're spending your money on. You can take the last 30 days, if you really want to take a good challenge, take 90 days worth of statements. Go through and highlight in yellow things that you really didn't need to spend money on. Maybe it was that stop at Starbucks. Maybe, it was a lottery ticket. Whatever it might be, $3 here, $5 here, eating out a little more than you need to do instead of going to the grocery store. Highlight those things and add that total up for the last 30 days or 90 days and divide by 3 and find out how much per month you really could have set aside to let your money begin to grow. Start with that and then we will move from there. So that's your homework, okay? Start with finding out what can I be putting aside automatically? Set up an automatic transaction if you can. You can have your employer do that for you, or you can even set it up in your own checking account where you have an automated transfer into a savings account. Now, I'm going to tell you, a savings account is a lousy place to put your money, but when you're just getting started and you want to get into the habit, it's the best place to start. You can open an online savings account, which is my preference, because if you put it in an online savings account, yeah, you're getting a teeny bit, little extra bit of percentage. These days we're getting hardly anything. But part of the advantage of the online account is it takes a couple days for you to be able to access it. Those extra couple days to be able to access that money can slow you down and stop you from draining your funds later on when you're sure that that emergency, the only way you can do it is through that savings account. So it just kind of helps keep you from just grabbing it back out so quickly. So let me encourage you with that for now, and we'll get back to you next time. Thanks so much. Thanks for watching.